It stopped. There we go. Yay.
So it's dinner time at my house, and you guys, our team meets on every Tuesday night at the same time, and it's always somebody's cooking show at that hour. So we totally don't mind if you show your face, even if you're eating. This is family, so it's like being gathered around the family table, right? It's like as close as we can get to it. So I always love for everybody to hear from different leaders in the company and different perspectives. And, you know, sometimes it just brings whole new meaning to something when you hear or see somebody that you look up to. So I'm excited, you guys, that we're all collaborating here tonight. And because I'm just talking, I'm going to say I'm Hannah, if you don't know me. And you may have seen me this morning on Tuesday training, because I'm wearing the exact same thing. That's where I'm wearing bright blue dress, bright lipstick, because this is what I put on for 11 a.m., not for Zoom tonight. But, you know, here tonight, you're going to hear from Deb and Lori, who are both, I feel so privileged to be connected to them. Deb, are you frozen? No, you're just still. Just kidding. Okay. So Debbie is in Michigan, and I will tell you, she has the most infectious laugh, and she brings the most fun to everything in business. And she has just an immense amount of knowledge and expertise and leadership in our industry that I think will be enough to excite anybody here. And in talking about leadership and loyalty and expertise, Lori as well, same thing. Lori is in Georgia, and something that you will love about Lori is she is a straight shooter. She's so knowledgeable, and she's not going to tell you what you want to hear. She's going to tell you what you need to hear. And I'll tell you, that is really, really, really hard to find. And when you find it, you need to treasure that because that is one of the greatest assets. Lori's also incredible with, you know, reports and numbers and all the things. And both of you ladies, I've learned so much from you at Color Street, and it has just been an absolute joy to be connected to both of you in that way. So I'm so grateful that this journey brought us together like that. And I think I'm going to have a mini connected to me all night.
There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know how many founders we might have, but Debbie and I actually trained together in Detroit at the very first conference that first summer. So
yeah, 2017.
That was
and the three of us have been on, we've gone away together also. Remember when we did a big we did a planning session with people from all across the company too, which was a lot of fun when we went to Atlanta, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've had journeys through the ghetto together. We've survived that.
Yeah.
Is that even kosher to say? I don't know if that is.
I was going to say the drug house, but then I tried to leave that out.
Yeah. So, okay.
So
we weren't doing drugs, but we're pretty sure everyone else in the other houses might have been.
Downtown under the MARTA in Atlanta. We'll just leave it at that.
All I know is there was a fantastic swing in the living room, and it's a place you just don't go outside.
Yeah. So we have great memories together with a lot of collaborating, and I always love working with both of you for the same reason.
Those ladies of the night were nice. Y'all don't pick on them. Everybody's got to work.
Everybody's got to work. If only they knew about Color Street.
That's funny. Well, we just wanted to get together and share each other's teams, share our friends with our teams. And it just seemed like this was a good group to do it with, and to kind of expose some of our teams to somebody else. And don't worry about the slides. They're just fun. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes when I get in a funk, I need to be creative. What is that? Is that me?
Yeah, you did. So you're keeping the weapons on the
Maybe Sheila.
and she instantly got the best, most competitive.
Got it.
Thank you. So anyway, this is the fun girls' night in. Is it going to let me slide? There we go. So we're going to look for 2 people who will go live and just tell us a funny story about college life. Or I know Deb has kids in college. I have kids in college. I just thought it would be a funny way to introduce a couple of people to the team.
You want people on here, you're saying, or in the party?
Here, this is the
Oh,
party.
I,
We are the party. There's no after party.
I don't know if you want to hear any of my college stories. It could be bad.
Deb, I want to hear your college stories. I told you guys that she's the life of the party and brings the fun, right? And I didn't even know that that was the next slide when I said that.
Oh, that's funny.
Is there anything good?
Oh, gosh. I mean, isn't all of college good? Well, as I have 2 kids in college right now, it's all fresh right now.
I was gonna say, it's expensive.
Yeah. I actually, we have told our kids that they're allowed, we'll pay for their dinner anywhere they go once a month if they go, because they're at the same college, if they go have dinner together.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
With no phones, with just them. So we'll do it one time a month with just them, and then one time a month where they have a budget with their boyfriend and girlfriend, the 4 of them. So they just did the 4 of them. And
That's
as we
lovely.
started, I was getting a call, so they were going to tell me how it was. So that's kind of a tradition that we started for this year with our kids in school together.
I love that.
I love the like little traditions and like even just like parenting tips that we can gain from being in a stylist community. And I just love that, Deb.
Thanks. I got it from someone else, actually in a direct sales company, friend from another direct sales company that they did with their kids years ago.
I
So
love that. Mine are not near each other. They're a couple hours apart. Lori, your daughter's still in grad school, right?
Yes, she's at Embry.
She's in Atlanta. She's closer to me than she is to you.
I know it.
All right. Well, we already did the welcome for those of y'all that didn't know. Look at how cute these little states are.
so cute.
I think that one of the things that we want to be remembering is that, Hannah, I think that you called it our hero product. I have still said it's our flagship product. I don't know if you have people on your team who are wondering, should they change their team name? Should they change their VIP space? I am not. I think that no matter what we end up selling, Color Street is the one that put us on the map. I think it's the most exclusive thing we're ever going to sell. And I just stuck this in here just so that we would remember nail polish strips is where we've started.
And not only where we started, but this has sustained and grown $1 billion company on a standalone product. And there's not very many products that can do that. So this will forever be our hero product. It will forever be our flagship.
Well, and one thing we were saying, we had a team meeting at my house the other day on Sunday, and we were talking about the word polished. And depending how you're using the word polish, if you're using it in any of those things, who says polish has to be your fingertips? It could be your clothes. If you're, it could be how you speak, you're well polished, could be your lips. So to me, polish can just mean that like classy, just done right look.
I think
So
that
kind
that's
of
neat that it is a noun and a descriptive verb. Like you are polished. There aren't any bad connotations to it. I like that, Debbie.
So kind of funny thing about that, Deb, you guys know that I'm married to a sailor and my mouth is sometimes worse than his. I guess because we're on Zoom, I'm just going to blame Bong Gong for that because she's here. But, and I also really love to share inappropriate memes in my VIP space, things that maybe probably shouldn't be shared other places. And so my URL, my Color Street name is polished, not proper. So that kind of fits in there to that polished world.
I think that that's one of those things when people are trying to understand what a niche means or an identifier. I'm sure that you have people who send you naughty memes because they know that that's what you love. I have people tag me on stuff about friends all the time. I mean, like just random things they send me. And I think that that is, if you're looking for some way to connect in your VIP space and you haven't figured that out, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It can be, you know, whatever.
I'm gonna start looking for naughty flamingo things to send Hannah now.
Oh, Lord, I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Well, and while we are, you know, talking about polished strips and how that's our flagship, our hero product, you do want to remember to be including
Yes.
the nail care system, and don't forget to, you know, check your assets. If you have a library of stuff, make sure that those are updated and that you're remembering to include these other things. I was
So,
talking,
oh, sorry, Lori.
I was talking about something, I think the lips, not lips, because we don't sell lips, we sell lipstick, in Team Shine, and I could tell that people weren't engaging enough on it. And so I started calling and messaging some of my leaders to say, have you ordered the lipsticks, blah, 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 you know, or asking what their favorite of the nail care system was. And some of our leaders hadn't even tried the hand care system. So they definitely, you know, were kind of lagging behind in that. And I think that we just need to keep remembering that we are expanding, and if we're not trying it, our customers definitely are not.
And can we talk about these products for a minute? Because I feel like we have some tips to share here. And I want to tell you first, my experience in the beauty industry is before Color Street. So I am actually licensed in hair, skin, nails, and makeup. So these are some products ways that I can see these products standing out. And I want you guys to know these things because these are powerful tools when growing your team. And first of all, when it comes to makeup, there is not a lot of professional makeup items out there that a makeup professional can profit from. And so what that means is when she buys, when there's a makeup artist, let's say she does weddings, when she goes and she buys professional product, and then she puts together a kit for the bride, you know, you'll talk to many makeup artists and that's what they do. If they've done somebody's makeup for prom or a wedding or whatever, they put together kits of that makeup. It's a touch-up kit, right?
Right.
And they're making money off of their hours and their time invested, but there's not a lot of markup in makeup products. There's just not a lot of innovation there. And that's what excites me so much about Color Street is this is an opportunity for them to earn. But more importantly, for these makeup artists, we give them a platform and a CRM that makeup artists don't otherwise use. If you don't know what a CRM is, watch Tuesday Training Today where I talk about that. But the CRM is so incredibly powerful because it gets them beyond today's business. So today's business is they applied makeup. They did a makeup session. But what we offer them is a way to make a profit on that makeup, but then also to continually build residual sales off of that one-time stop. So another thing I want to point out about these products, first of all, is from the time I started using them, I was getting 8 hours or more of wear. I've gone to, this is embarrassing story, so don't tell anybody after this, but so I got a crown on my tooth. And I was having a little sensitivity that day, obviously, and the dentist put some stuff on it and he's like, first of all, I must say, I was supposed to get the crown the next day. And so I had on lipstick, bright pink lipstick. I don't remember the name of it yet, but I had on bright pink lipstick. It looked great. And then my dentist called and they wanted to do the crown and move it up a day. And I was like, well, I can make that work, but oh my God, I'm going to have lipstick smeared all over my face. Like, can you imagine all these 5 hands in your mouth? The lipstick is going to be everywhere. But I went ahead, I took the appointment, moved it up. They did the crown. My lips looked perfect, you guys. After having 5 hands in my mouth at the dentist and the thing that holds your lip back and all the things, my lips looked good. And so that was the first shocker to me. But then he put the stuff on my mouth and he's like, so this is a desensitizer. I'm going to put it on here. It's going to get gummy and leave it alone. Do not brush your teeth tonight. Well, I guess the inner child in me kicked in or something. And when he said, do not brush your teeth, somehow I translated that to do not wash your face either. I don't know. I woke up the next morning and my lips were still looking good. I got 2 whole days out of that lipstick. So I want to tell you a couple tips here. Can we talk about this? Is this okay to talk about?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple things. Our lipstick was lasting for me for a long time. We've been using this lipstick for a little while before it was released, and I've been getting hours and hours and hours of wear. And I couldn't wait for the lip primer to come out because that's like the one thing, you know, like when you wear lipstick and it wears, wait till you put a primer on and that baby's like glue, right? So the primer got here and I was like, crap, my lipstick is wearing off with the primer. So I want to tell you about this primer for a minute, okay? So I put the primer on my bedside and put it on my lips, and I can feel my lips getting plump. Have you guys felt that yet? It's pretty incredible. When I get close to the mirror, I can see fewer wrinkles in my lips.
That's
But
amazing.
it's so incredibly conditioning that it provides a layer that the lipstick just wipes off on when I put it on my lips. So I got to thinking about this because every lip primer that I've ever used, I'm addicted to reading ingredients, and all of the ingredients dry out the lips. They create a really dry surface for the lip product to stick to, right? Which then in turn dries out our lips. And that's why we get lip skin peeling off of our lips. So this is what I've discovered about the primer. This is like a conditioning primer. It has so many skinification ingredients in it that when I wash my face at night and do my whole nightly skincare routine when I'm not sleeping in my makeup, you know, but no, most nights I don't do that. That was like a one-time thing. So I do the whole nighttime thing. And then I put the primer on before I go to bed. So then when I wake up in the morning, it has been absorbed enough that the lipstick goes on just fine. And then I keep the balm on my lips all day to keep my lips really moist. And I will never, ever, ever have to reapply that makeup. So if that's something that you hear, just know that there are so many good for you ingredients in that lip primer that it is not going to be the same as a lip primer marketed in the United States. So I think the differentiation here is like K-beauty product understanding versus US market product expectation. So, you know, we're working with a really superior and superb product here because when I put that on at night, not only do I get to totally enjoy the lip plumping benefits when I'm still in my bed at night and I can really feel it and feel like I'm doing a great job, but the next morning it's still working. So I love that. And I hope that you guys notice that. The other thing that I've noticed is, let's say you've put on your lipstick and maybe it's a satin finish and you want to tone it down a little bit, put that primer over the top of it and it gives it a slight mattification. So it's not going to be as matte as our matte, but it will create a slight mattification. So those are a couple things that I love that has really helped me get long time wear. And if you are not wearing the lip balm and marketing that lip balm, baby, you are missing out. That lip balm is the best lip balm I have ever used in my life. Love, love, love. Sorry, Misty, I'm talking too much, but I see your hand up.
I just wanted to say that it really depends on what lipstick you use that the primer isn't working. So if you use the matte, it's perfect for it. If you use the more, what are the other two called?
Velvet.
Yeah,
Yes.
velvet, that's when you have a problem. So if you want to use the primer beforehand, and just for the matte, it'll work perfectly and it won't come off.
Absolutely. And that matte product alone in itself, every matte lipstick will always have a longer lasting effect than any other style of lipstick. So think about that when you're talking about how you're going to market to your VIPs and your customers, because they're not going to have the same abilities that we do to like, or the commitment to roll up the lipstick and say, is this velvet or is this satin? You know, because it's a different type of commitment level. So I encourage you, all of you, to try it. Put that after you've cleaned your face and prepped your face for bed. Put on that lip primer and lay down and experience what that feels like. By morning, it is still working, baby. Those lips look good. And it's not the excess product on the lips, which is what causes your makeup to slip off or that like melt off into your skin. The other thing I'll say about the hand and nail care, you guys, if you're not using this and marketing it, do it. Add it as a part of your follow-up to make sure you're checking in. People have been using hand sanitizer religiously for 2 years now, and it is destroying their hands. It's destroying the cuticles around their hands. And if they want great nails, it starts in the skin first. So we have living tissue. That's what is the part of the nail that's inside our hand. And then we have non-living tissue. That's the nail plate and the nail that you see outside of your hand. So the conditioning of your hands and nail health starts first with how you're treating your hands. So that cuticle oil right now is absolutely something to be using every day. And it's a great product for everyone. And hands down, it's better than any cuticle oil I've ever used on the market. Nail strengthener, it's what I've got on right now. Best nail strengthener I've ever used on the market. And of course, our polish remover speaks for itself, and our hand lotion isn't sticky. Those are all the selling points that we should be talking about with this product. And if you guys have testimonies from customers, we want to hear them, because that helps us to talk to our customers as well. And it just adds to all of the great things about our product.
Very good.
Thanks, Hannah.
Oh,
All
you're
right. So
welcome.
now Hannah is going to be quiet.
Sorry.
No, I'm giving you a hard time. And I want, if you'll go in the comments and describe Hannah. Is she more likely to tailgate or check out concessions?
Hmm.
Oh my God.
All right,
If
let me
you
get
put
my other-
concessions, that is just like a total fat joke, right?
Confessions, what?
Or concessions is what I meant.
Oh,
That's hysterical.
oh, everybody says tailgate. Tailgate, 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 tailgate.
You guys are
You can
out.
get concessions at a tailgate. You get the food and the friends.
Very good. All
And
right.
you can now sell your nail polish at the tailgate.
It's funny. It's true. Okay, so do you describe Hannah more as classic or trendy? Oh, kind of a tie. Trendy, trendy, trendy's winning. I think she's
Oh.
classically trendy,
Mhm.
right?
So I said trendy chic.
That's very good. A touch of classic, yes. All right, who is her can't miss team? If she's cheering for somebody on TV, who's she cheering for?
Is this collegiate or pro?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
I mean, do you want to pick one of them? We'll
no,
do
I'm good.
collegiate. Yeah, we'll do collegiate. Very good. The Longhorns. All right, for those of y'all that don't know about NCAA stuff, when Southern girls go to a college football game, sometimes you'll have the distinction between the really cute girls who are dressing up and looking good, and then you have, you know, like the complete opposite of wife beaters and cut off t-shirts. Which do you think, which do you think that Hannah is?
Well, so casual means that casual. It doesn't mean like Michigan State casual, which is like game day t-shirts.
That's more casual, right? Jennifer says she doesn't know football. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad that somebody said it out loud, because I hope that this girls' night in will show you that even though you might not be a football fan, people in your VIP group, they enjoy it. They pay attention to it. I like all sports. I have the Braves on right now. And so don't, in the same way that we tell our teams not to be in somebody else's purse or pocketbook, like don't decide for your entire group that you're going to ignore something that is a big part of what we're doing right now. If we want Mr. Park to ever open his checkbook and have other licensing products, this one has to be successful. So
Yes.
find something that you like about football, even if it is not liking it, even if you are the person who is posting the Gone with the
Can you take a
Wind
shower tonight?
sound of music, you
Oh,
know,
you
I'm
just put
over
same
here
clothes
not
back on?
caring about football. Like,
night.
that's okay to do.
Love you.
I mean, I don't.
This
I shouldn't
season,
say-
it's
I
not
shouldn't have
just
said I
football.
don't know football. I do know, I mean, I was a cheerleader, but I just don't know the college sports, the college
gotcha.
teams personally.
Good
I
night.
went to a community
Love you.
college and that was more years ago than I'm gonna admit to. So just, I'm not up on it, but
That's
Well,
okay.
remember, fall is not
But
just
I am
football
big on
either. It's
promoting these-
soccer, it's cheerleading.
yeah,
There's a lot of other sports too.
yeah,
So
I was gonna
Oh, yeah.
say, like,
I love these polishes. I am definitely promoting them.
well, and some of the non-logoed strips on these are so good. And I know they're $1 more than they would be, or $2 more, or whatever it is. Some of those are so good, and they're color combinations that we haven't had.
Mm.
And so don't be afraid to like pay attention to the schools in your area, even though they might not be the Wildcats or they might not be the Hurricanes. Like, if you have a high school in your area that's orange and green, I promise you they're going to appreciate the University of Miami stuff.
So
Yeah.
you guys will get a kick out of this. I had somebody really excited that the Portland colors and nail strips were perfect for a John Deere fan.
oh, there you go.
There you go.
Well, and on a side note, if you are a football fan, or if you do go to sporting things, most stadiums only allow the clear bags. So here's my Amazon bag that I take to, because we tailgate every single Michigan State game. But I
Oh,
put
yeah.
polishes in there, and this is what I carry around, because that's what can go in the stadium. So make sure you're taking advantage of that, and I'll carry it around locally too now, having set show. So be sure you're ordering something like that that could go in a stadium and show off your polish.
They're so good. They're
Okay.
so good. All right. So drop in the comments where you are. I'm in Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters. Clearly, sports fan. I mean, for those of y'all that don't know, that's one of golf majors.
I don't think I knew that, Lori, until I met you.
About Masters.
Mm-hmm. And now I hear it all the time. I'm like keen to hearing
You're
Augusta.
like, I know what that is.
That's right.
We are coast to coast.
Oh, but I don't see anybody in Canada.
Terry was on earlier. A tiny town in northern Modesto, California. Ugh. I can't see that without thinking about Lacey Peterson. I know that's a downer to this thing, but that's what I know about Modesto.
I was so wondering what the F was about.
Okay, we were talking about how you need to look at your assets and make sure that you're remembering that in all of your stuff, whether it's conversations or events or in your VIP space or girls' night in or Facebook parties, any of that stuff, make sure that it is including the entire hand care system, the entire lip system, and then making sure that we remember we're so used to saying everything is either buy 3 get 1 or buy BOGO that now you're distinguishing between the nail polish, which is applicable to all of that stuff, and then the hand and nail care system and the lip stuff is not. And so you can see, this is just an example of how I'm doing it for, I used this football stuff for a part, but how, you know, there's a line break.
So earlier tonight, we were talking about how we had so many stylists that were not going to share lipstick. They absolutely were not going to share lipstick. Then they got the lipstick. They put the lipstick on and they are sold on the lipstick. But there are still a few stylists hanging around out there that are not willing to share the lipstick, believe it or not. I know if you're wearing it, you might be feeling shocked, but you guys
Mhm.
look at what our other products outside of our hero product of the nail strips, look what it can do to your cart totals. and helping your customers to understand the product that they're interested in. I mean, it's such a big thing to not make the decisions for your customers about what they will be interested or what they won't be interested based off of our own preferences. But look at what these products do to our cart totals. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, and to
I
see the
I
hard-
love that you, sorry.
No, go right ahead, Raquel.
I love that you put the biz kit on the top because I've never put that in a party. Like when I put a pricing post of all the prices, I never think to add the biz kit. It's a whole separate post. So
Yeah.
that is just amazing. Because when you
Well,
start
I mean,
adding it up, you know?
You know that, you know, sometimes you have to have those seeds 3, 4, 10, 14 times. I'm sure Hannah can tell you the stats about what it is. People have to hear it. But it's just one other place in all of my parties that is reminding people about the kit.
And that it's an option. Yeah, absolutely. It was, that's
And
nice.
you're-
That stuck out to me.
At
And
the
just like what Raquel was saying, when you're sitting here adding everything up, you're like, oh, what comes in the kit?
right?
That's why I joined. I mean, that's honestly why I joined. I went to a party, tried, asked for a sample, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna be ordering, and it's all gonna add up. Might as well get the kit because I'll just save some money. And then here I am. So I love it.
Yeah.
All that to say.
Especially with the new stuff, you know, it may take someone a while to get to $130 with nail polish, you know, how long it would take them to use that. But if you're starting out with the whole hand and nail care kit, you're, you know, almost halfway there just with the bundle. And what I was saying was that the strengthener came back in stock today, which means that all of those bundles that included it are also back in stock. So that was good.
And you guys, home office let us know that when nail strengthener was coming back later this month, which is now, that it is back for a while. So this means that we've got it. Be marketing that baby because it is the best.
It is fantastic. Okay, so I just thought that this was funny. If you had to let one of these go, tell us in the comments or out loud. And I really struggled because I don't know what I would do.
I can't pick.
The lotion, oh my God, no way. No way. I have, this one is almost empty. I'm fixing to cut the bottom of it off.
I
have-
know, but I would never give up the nail strips or the
Or the
remover
remover. And
or the new lip balm.
I
so-
know.
I think I'd have to go with D.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back
Oh.
to its first cousin.
I'll tell you, I
I had
almost
to.
liked the first
Right.
cousin better at first, and now I don't think I could give it up.
Yeah. Anyway, it just is a funny thing to help you think about different things that you could talk about in your VIP group. Because if someone who had never tried the lotion before saw something like this, they would be like, oh, that's one of her choices that would be so hard to give up, and I haven't even tried it yet. So coming about it, you know, from the back door to help you think about, you know what I'm saying?
So funny story there, Lori. I recently did this event and some of you guys already know this story, so I'm sorry. It was horrible a horrible day for nail polish. It was one of those events that was mostly realtors and everybody had a stylist, you know, but what I found is that nobody's stylist had introduced them to the hand and nail care products. So I had a little display set up. It was just like a 4-hour event. I had a little display set up of the hand and nail care products, and the lotion, of course, was there ready to try. And I would give everybody a little squirt of the lotion as they would walk by. That day, I sold $376. $376. I sold 4 nail sets, but $376 in hand and nail care items. And all of those people, you know, will be back for more because that is an incredible product. All of it.
It's fantastic. And Hannah, if you are in Alex Silverman's group, she had somebody who shared their display, and you know, this have this on my desk, this kind of makeup thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they stack. There is an element to this that it has like a closure, like a door, like a hatch. So while I'm remembering it, go to Alex's group and grab that link because it was super cute on her table. It's clear. It's like clear acrylic. And so it's clean looking. Amazon, super, super, super cute.
So
And
you
then,
guys, let's talk about that. Are you guys going to be bringing lipstick to your vendor events?
Yes,
Who said yes?
I
Yeah.
did.
Lori,
Lori.
Lori. Okay, I can't see everybody on my screen. So tell us about that, Lori. What's your plan?
I don't know yet. Well, I'm gonna have it displayed on the table, but I have listed it. I've got 3 events coming up that I listed those products being there, being part, because I know Lori said something about make sure, I hadn't really thought about that because I used to do vendor events a lot and trying to get back into it. And what are you asking, like how I'm displaying or?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I'm-
what's your plan? Are you going to keep an inventory of lip product? Are you going to drive customers to your website? If you're going to drive them to your website, be sure to check out today's Tuesday training. I'm going to plug that one more time because it gives a great tip for events for sending to your website.
Oh, good.
But I'm just curious what your plan is there. This is something that I've talked about with lots of different stylists, and I'm really interested in hearing what thoughts are, on that. I think for me, I think it's a really great opportunity to send people to the site. And I will tell you, I do a lot of site sales right at my event. And part of that is just because we're already setting up their account at the time of the event. So when I tell them that they don't have to carry it today and it will ship right now for just $3, a lot of times people take me up on that.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking about with this lipstick is having one of every shade on hand. Because there's nothing like seeing it. And I don't know about y'all, but I love to I can tell if I'm going to use a lipstick by smelling it. If it smells like
Mhm.
Walmart lipstick, I am not putting it on my lip. That is so packed with wax and stuff. And speaking of wax, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but random thoughts here. So I was at the Texas History Museum with my kids. So random fact, we're a homeschool family. And last week I took them to the Texas History Museum and there was this whole big display about all of the items that come from Texas oil. So it's all of the items that are derivatives of crude oil and natural gas. So all of the products on this wall contain both items. And did you know lipstick, the average lipstick contains both petroleum and natural gas. So if you want something to market when you're talking about our clean product, that is definitely something to look into. And the ingredients are enough, I think, to impress anybody.
very good.
Mhm.
Misty, you can unmute, hun.
I just wanted to, I'm sure everybody knows, but be careful when you bring your lipstick because you want to pay attention to the weather. Because unfortunately, one of my lipsticks that I took to an event, it did get a little ruined because it was a little too warm.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Oh, especially if you're gonna be selling it, right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? too?
Yeah, I personally, because of that, I think what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna make sure after they sign up on register, I'm gonna have them, if they're interested in the product, to order it that right there so it can go to them.
So
Very
Missy, was that in direct sunlight by chance?
No, I even had a fan on it.
Okay, you guys, this is so interesting because when we got lipstick early, some of you know that. And when it came, I wasn't expecting it. And it's the first one sat in my mailbox, not in a thermal envelope in the week that Texas had 10 consecutive days of 106 degrees. And the mailbox is like out in the middle of the field, full sun. It has to be cooking in there. And I opened it and I was just like, my heart sank. I was certain I was going to open up those tubes and find them in a melted mess. And I was shocked. I just left it still and opened it up and they were perfect. Like just, it's incredible.
I know I was kind of shocked too, because when I got mine in California, we had like 115 weather and they were cooking in the mailbox and they were fine. But I took them where it wasn't even close to being even hot. And then for some reason, I can't explain why it did it, but it did.
Let's
That's
put
good.
that on our list of questions, guys, to ask corporate, is something about like melting point, and is it different with different shades and styles?
Right. Okay,
Interesting.
we're running a little long in the tooth, so we're gonna skip this fun thing, but this is just an element that I always have in all of my parties, and it's usually a good engagement. Don't forget the foundation, and I don't know why I have the sports things there, but it is one of those topics, just like remember, and I know it seems like, when we first started, we're like, we only have one product. It's so great to have one product. And we don't just have one product now, but I don't know if Elizabeth is on, but don't forget the foundation. It is a way that people will connect solely for the foundation. So it's just in here. Oh, yeah, Elizabeth says yes. So don't forget the foundation. Debbie,
That's a
Hannah,
great reminder.
Yeah.
And I love that, again, this was talked about on Tuesday training today as well, but what kind of goals are you connecting with foundation? We do have a foundation release every single month that is in place to propel your business. And if you are not setting a goal of doing a fundraiser every single month, that's something your business is missing that's going to really expand your reach. So think about what it's like to run a fundraiser. You can start by doing it in your VIP group. You can always do it in your VIP group, or by getting to know your VIPs, you can find, which people have their heart connected to one cause. But what I know is that if I have somebody that is really touched by Alzheimer's and they're in my VIP group, when they see an Alzheimer's strip, they're going to be all on board for supporting that party. And if they're supporting that, that means they're being added to my VIP group. Or if I'm doing it in a separate group for them, it means they're getting connected to me through that group, right? So every single month, challenge yourself to set up a fundraiser. There's so many great causes, and it's really important in the like, no, trust factor for your following to be able to see your heart. And there's no greater way of doing that than through a fundraiser. And even when we don't have a fundraiser that particular month, we don't have a foundation set that month, this is not 2020. Every single month, there are still other sets in stock that you can use for that fundraiser, or you can create your own. But that fundraiser every single month is an incredible way, set a goal to it. Today, we talked about just setting a goal of 200 PV for your fundraising efforts every month and how that might transform your business. I like to set a goal of 300 PV because everything that I do is gold in $300 increments. Because I think it shows when we're seeing prospects in every event that we do, it's showing them how simple 300 PV is when they come into our business and that is their first goal and they feel overwhelmed. They remember what event they met you through and how that PV was generated. So I hope you're using those foundation sets to really boost your business and extend your reach.
For me personally, it's also another seed in a party to talk about Helen Park. Like, it is just one of those things to kind of introduce her and her story about, any of us that have been, married 15 or 20 years, and you hear their story and how she definitely could have said, okay, you have tried this, it's not working, we're done with this, get a real job. And so it's another one of those places where I like to talk about them together, and that it was a family thing. And so the foundation element is just another place to do that.
And if you guys haven't heard the story, Deb, I don't know if you remember the number, but Fa was poor, right? And his family was like scrambling. He couldn't even pay rent on the place that he was using to develop his dream, right? They were poor. And he was offered, was it $22 million?
I think that's right.
Somewhere from was it sale? No, who was it?
It was the people in Europe, but I can't remember which company it was. Oh, it
L'Oreal.
was Revlon or L'Oreal.
Yeah, it was a big one.
And they offered him $22 million to sell it. And Helen didn't leave him when he said no.
14 million, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just is one of those places to where she really, I know that he stands out front, but to me, the perseverance and trust and faith and all of that is as much about Helen as it is about Fa. And I love to connect the foundation with her. This is funny because anytime that I can tell this story, I'm going to tell this story. So the first college football game was in 1869. And just a few years later, those men protected their private parts and invented the cup. And 100 years later, they invented the helmet. 100 years. 100 years.
So we know which head they feel is more important.
100 years.
Here
Sorry.
she goes with that polished, or what is it? Polished and not proper.
Sorry, guys.
100 years. I just love that. I just love it. Don't come on, that's pretty funny, right?
It is, that's crazy.
Be open to kitschy parties and themes, and it doesn't take much. You'll have some people who would prefer, just lickety split going through them, but you can see that you don't have to be uber creative. There doesn't have to be a whole production with costumes and all of that kind of stuff to make someone feel like it was fun.
And I think you did a great job here, Lori, to show that like you, first of all, you don't have to know anything about football to offer a
No.
football girls night in. Okay.
Right.
And none of your graphics have to change ever. And you can pull just some statistics, just like the helmet thing. How freaking funny is that? And entertaining is that for a party? Notice there's no color street anywhere on here, but
Oh gosh, no.
our party experience is about having fun. If you think that people are in the party to see you, that's not what they're there for. If you think
No.
they're in the party to spend money, that's not what they're there for. If you think they're in the party to fall in love with the product, they're not even there for that. Actually, they're
No.
there because a hostess invited them to the party, and that's it. They're there to support the hostess. And when people come to a party, an in-person party, that's my jam. I have to remember that they're not there for me. They are there, for the social part of the party. And things like this, knowing nothing about football and being able to bring something like this straight to a
That's
party.
funny stuff.
It is funny. And it is the entertainment part of the party. It's why women connect. I tell a really disgusting story about, trying to see who's listening, about how I learned what fellatio is.
Oh my God, this is the best story.
Oh my
ever.
gosh, I remember this.
So I tell this story.
We are recording it.
I tell this story at every single party. And the reason is because it is something that women will laugh about. It's something that they'll connect about. And then they want the next person to hear the story because it's mortifying. Okay. I grew up in a small Indiana town. Fellatio was not something that was a part of a vocabulary lesson. Okay. And I'll tell
Mom
you.
is crying.
So, anyways, that's a funny part of a party, and it's a way for women to connect and laugh. And these are classic examples of it doesn't take a lot of work to tailor a party and have fun. Have your standard set of graphics that you always use. That's fine. You don't have to be a graphics person, and pull some funny memes or pull some funny stats or whatever to just have fun. Nothing on here about Color Street.
Right. I think what's funny is that this is it's tongue in cheek. It's hilarious that 35 years after it was on television, they're going to decide to protect their, cranial area.
Well, should we thank them because we're still here today? Like the human race is still here today.
Right. But I think that kind of story is something that in the olden days, like a water cooler the next day, like somebody's, your customers are going to say, did you know that? And they're going to, where'd you hear that? Like, it'll be memorable. And I promise you, the first time that you hear the whole story from Hannah, you will never forget it.
And if you are going to be in Riviera Maya, don't hesitate to find me. I generally look the same, so you can find me if you want to hear the story. I'll gladly share it over the crashing waves at the beach.
Yes, that's funny. All right, drop in comments. Who's the most famous person that you've talked to? And y'all are not going to be shocked that mine is sports related. This is basketball legend Rick Pitino. I was on a Ice Cube. Oh, I was on a incentive trip with a former company in Naples, Florida, coming through security, and I recognized him. So I walked up behind him and told him, you know, it was nice to meet him. And when we got through security, could we take our picture? And I got flagged for extra patting down. So by the time that I got out of security, I knew that he was just going to be gone. And I'm going to tell you that 12 minutes is how long it took me. He was sitting on a bench at the end of security, waiting for me to take this selfie. And I thought that was a cool story.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. He'd wait.
He did. Oh, somebody said Mr. Park. That's so cute. Gallagher. Who is Mick Foley?
Brad Pitt. Who's Misty? Boy, you're meeting all sorts of people.
Who is Mick Foley? Thank
Is
you.
arrested WF, and he was signing his children's Christmas book at the same time that China was signing her Playboy. So the store was empty and the employees got to hang out with him.
That is very cool. That is very cool. And again, this is just one of those things where everybody has one, right? And they like to tell a story, and it doesn't have anything, oh, that's funny, Hannah. It doesn't have anything to do with Color Street. This is another thing that I do in my parties. Whatever the theme is, I'll look up songs, a playlist. If you're having like an in-home party, you just, you know, and then movie nights, it's a good conversation piece. All right, I want everybody to type 2 or 3 words that they find using Color Street. There are 430 of them.
I think it's harder because some letters are lower and some are upper.
We have to use the whole word Color Street?
No, using the letters that are in there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's 5 till 10. See, I told you we would not have a problem filling an hour.
This is fun, Lori. I've never thought of doing girls' night in style on Zoom.
It's harder than Facebook just because you don't have like the comments stay with that asset, but it's not unfun.
Oh my
Try it.
gosh, Misty, do you play words with friends? Because that's like a long freaking ass word that you just created. Sorry, polish not proper. Hashtag.
You're worried about ass, but you don't mind saying fellatio out loud?
That's a fancy word. I feel like sophisticated. Fellatio.
That's the proper word. You just killing me. All right. Manny, thanks. Did anybody have any questions? I don't mind opening it up for questions for just a few minutes. Rooster, I want Misty on my team.
For real. Yeah, she does play words with friends. I knew it.
Yeah. No questions?
So how did
I have a question, if you don't mind. So my VIP was very excited about the lip line. They loved it. They were excited. Crickets now that it's here. And I don't know what else I can do to get them excited over it.
so
So
I will tell
I would
you.
love some advice.
So I'll tell you that unfortunately, you probably already know what I'm going to say, but unfortunately, this is law of diminishing intent.
Yep.
That's a thing that when we give, this is a great lesson for everybody to learn, you guys. Google it, law of diminishing intent for purchaser, or Google law of diminishing intent for sales, right? When we share something before it is available to buy right now, it decreases the chances, the odds that somebody's actually going to buy it. And it has a half-life of a half-life every 24 hours. So if you're advertising something 4 days before it launches, that means they have a less than 25% chance of buying compared to where they were at 4 days ago. That's really incredible when you think about it. So
I know what you're saying, and I agree 1000%, but at the same time, a lot of my VIPs are hearing it from other stylists.
Yep.
And I understand you told me, go ahead and message them and be excited and tell them just not talk about it. But everybody at that time, everyone already knew about it. So as their stylist, I feel like I need to,
Yeah.
Like
So I
raise
wanna-
it up in the front because this is not level.
I want to share with you guys what I do in that case, because it's definitely one of those things when there are a lot of stylists that people are connected to, they're going to hear about things. And so our best thing to do is to not post, but to connect with them privately. And then at that point, collect pre-sales, because the law of diminishing intent is happening when we're giving them time to think about their purchase. So make sure that if you're going to take that step and share it, that you're then taking the next step, fill out the order form, collect the credit card, or do the jot form, or take the square sale, or whatever it is that you have to do. Order form, I will tell you, is the legal thing. That's what I can say is a legal action, is to take an order form. That is perfectly kosher. Technically, charging a credit card in advance is not a kosher thing to do, but those pre-sales are big. So now, just so that everybody got that same lesson, because I know that not everybody has heard about the law of diminishing intent and what that is, but let's now talk about ways to then now go back and try to bring them in on this lip color. So they were excited about it. This is a great time that you can start asking the who, what, when, where questions, not the yes or no questions, in private message, in those private conversations that are going to start drawing them back to the product and back to you and back to a buying decision. And so we can talk about some of those, because we're going to be together in just a couple of days. We can even practice with some of your VIPs. We're going to have lots of time on the beach. That's what I love about these trips, you guys, is being able to connect with other stylists and being able to do those things that we don't always get to do otherwise. But I think we should practice with some of those who, what, when, where, why questions. And why is one of those touchy ones I would actually avoid, because sometimes you don't want to say, why did you not get it? That makes people feel backed into a corner, but shift those questions around to help draw them back to the product and back to the experience. And I'll tell you guys, I didn't share it at all. It was the hardest freaking thing ever, because I knew they were hearing about it other places and stuff. And as soon as I did start sharing in my VIP group, I was really shocked at how many people didn't have any questions. They just were messaging me and asking where to buy or what colors did I feel would look good on them. And so make sure that that's something that you're talking about too, when you're selling lipstick and when you're selling nail polish and when you're selling a subscription box. It's all about how it makes you feel, because it's the feelings that create the sale. So just think about that when you're marketing it. Like, I think that's a really good thing to go back to, is how a color makes you feel, because Misty, they might have missed out on that sale then, but now they're going to have FOMO about the feeling that you're selling, because you're selling the feeling and the experience, not the polish.
Okay. And another thing I want to go back, you said that's when you start taking pre-orders. Well, I got where I was told that we weren't allowed to do that yet.
Yep. So we're not legally allowed to charge for it. Okay. So
if we're not allowed to legally charge, then how am I taking pre-orders? That's what I'm getting confused
that would
about.
be the filling out of the order form portion. And we were asked not to pre-sell. Hold on